You've probably stood in a gym and felt that exact hesitation. Grab the dumbbell, or sit down at the machine. Most people just guess, or default to whichever one their favorite influencer used last week. Almost nobody actually knows which option builds more real muscle. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one wins, and just as importantly, when the losing option is still the smarter choice for you specifically. Start with free weights. A dumbbell or a barbell has no fixed path. None. Your body has to control that weight in every direction at once, not just up and down. That means your stabilizer muscles, the smaller supporting muscles around your joints and spine, are working the entire time, even during something as simple as a flat bench press. This is part of why a barbell squat feels so much harder than a leg press loaded with the exact same relative effort. Your nervous system is doing more work behind the scenes just to keep that bar balanced and your body upright. That extra demand isn't difficulty for its own sake. Researchers like Brad Schoenfeld have pointed out that mechanical tension, the actual force your muscle fibers experience while resisting a load, is one of the primary drivers of muscle growth. Free weights create that tension across more muscle groups simultaneously, because your body recruits extra stabilizers just to keep the movement controlled and safe. Ever notice how sore your core gets after a heavy free weight session, even on a day you were just training legs? That's exactly why. Your entire body was quietly working the whole time. There's another piece people miss. Free weights force what's called unilateral and asymmetrical control, meaning each side of your body has to pull its own weight, literally. If your left arm is slightly weaker than your right, a dumbbell exposes that imbalance immediately, and over time, forces both sides to catch up. A machine can't do that in the same way, because the bar or handle is often fixed to move both sides together. Now flip to machines. A machine moves along a fixed track. The path is already decided for you before you even sit down. That sounds like a disadvantage, but it's actually the machine's biggest strength. Because the path is locked in, you can push a target muscle much closer to genuine failure without worrying about balance, technique breakdown, or a bar drifting off course mid-set. A leg extension machine, for example, can isolate the quadriceps almost perfectly, something a squat simply cannot do because so many other muscles are sharing the workload. This is also why machines are often the safer entry point into serious training. If your joints ache, if you're new to lifting, or if you're training alone without a spotter, a machine lets you load a muscle hard without the same injury risk that comes from losing control of a heavy free weight over your body. Isolation also reduces mental fatigue. You can focus entirely on squeezing the target muscle instead of juggling balance, bracing, and form all at the same time. Progressive overload is simpler too, since most machines let you add small, exact weight increments with a pin, something that's much harder to do precisely with a pair of dumbbells. So which one actually wins for building real muscle? Here's the direct answer. For overall hypertrophy, research comparing free weights and machines, including work published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, has generally found the two produce fairly similar muscle growth when effort and total volume are matched closely. That might surprise you. Your muscle doesn't know or care whether the tension came from a barbell or a cable stack. It only responds to how much tension it experienced and how close to true failure you trained it. What actually separates good results from great ones almost always comes down to consistency and effort, not which piece of equipment happened to be nearby that day. But, similar for growth, is not the whole story, and this is exactly where the real verdict lives. Free weights win when your goal is functional, transferable strength, the kind that carries over into sports, daily movement, and total body coordination, because you're training stabilizers and natural movement patterns that machines simply cannot replicate. Machines win when your goal is targeted isolation, training safely around an existing injury, or squeezing extra volume into a muscle that's already fatigued from heavier free weight work earlier in the same session. So the honest, specific answer is this. If you had to choose only one tool forever, free weights build more complete, transferable muscle and strength because of the added stabilizer demand and mechanical tension spread across more tissue at once. But the smartest lifters never actually choose only one. They use free weights as the foundation of training for their big compound movements, then add machines afterward to finish a muscle group with safer, more targeted volume once fatigue starts making free weight form harder to hold. Think back to that hesitation from the start of this video, dumbbell or machine. Now you know the real answer isn't always this one forever. It's free weights first, for the tension and the transfer, machines second, for the finish and the safety. That single sequencing change, heavy compound free weight work followed by machine isolation work, is one of the most reliable ways to make sure no muscle fiber in a given workout gets left undertrained. Your very next workout, try this exact approach. Open with your heaviest free weight compound lift for that muscle group while you're freshest and your form is sharpest, then close the session with 1 or 2 machine exercises to push that same muscle to genuine failure without the added technical risk. That single decision, the order you train in, matters more for long-term muscle growth than which single piece of equipment you swear loyalty to in the gym. If this changed how you think about your next gym session, hit subscribe, because FitLab breaks down exactly what the science actually says about your training, every single week.